Genesis chapter 19. And the two angels came into Sodom at evening, and Lot settled by the city of Sodom. And seeing, Lot rose up to meet them, and did obeisance with the face upon the ground. And he said, Behold, lords, turn aside to the house of your servant, and rest up, and wash your feet, that rising early you may go forth into your way. And they said, No, but in the square we will rest up. And he constrained them, and they turned aside towards him, and entered into his house. And he made for them a banquet, and baked unleavened breads for them, and they ate. Before putting to bed, the men of the city, the Sodomites, surrounded the house, from young man unto elder, all the people together. And they called forth Lot, and they said to him, Where are they, the men entering to you by the night? Lead them to us, that we may be intimate with them. And Lot came forth to them to the threshold, and shut the door behind him. And he said to them, By no means, brothers, should you do wickedly. But there are to me 2 daughters, who knew not a man. I will lead them to you, and you treat them according as pleasing to you. Only to these men you should not do unjust, because they entered under the protection of my beams. And they said to him, You left there to enter here to sojourn, and not to judge with judgment. Now then, to you we will inflict evil rather than them. And they were pressing the man Lot exceedingly, and they approached to break the door. And the men, stretching out the hands, drew Lot towards themselves into the house, and the door of the house they locked. And the men, being at the door of the house, were struck with inability to see, from small unto great, and were disabled in seeking the door. And the men said to Lot, Are there in-laws to you here, or sons or daughters? Or if there is any other to you in the city, you lead them out from this place, for we destroy this place. For their cry was raised up high before the Lord, and the Lord sent us to obliterate it. And Lot went forth and spoke to his sons-in-law, the ones taking his daughters. And he said, Rise up, and come forth from out of this place, for the Lord is obliterating the city. But he seemed to be joking before his sons-in-law. And when dawn came, the angels hurried Lot, saying, In rising up, take your wife, and your 2 daughters whom you have, and come forth, that you should not also be destroyed together in the lawlessness of the city. And they were disturbed, and the angels held his hand, and the hand of his wife, and the hands of his 2 daughters, in the Lord sparing them. And it came to pass, when they led them outside, and said, By escape your own life. You should not look round about to the rear, nor stand in any roundabout place. Escape into the mountain, lest at any time you may be taken along with them. And Lot said to them, I beseech, O Lord, since your servant found favor before you, and you magnified your righteousness, which you do unto me, that my soul may live, but I will not be able to come through safe into the mountain, lest the evils should overtake me, and I should die. Behold, this certain city is near for me to take refuge there, which is small. There I will be delivered. Is it not a small thing that my soul will live because of you?" And he said to him, "Behold, I admired your countenance over this saying, to not eradicate the city concerning of which you spoke. You hasten then to escape there, for I will not be able to do the thing until you go there." On account of this, he called the name of that city Zoar. The sun came up upon the earth, and Lot entered into Zoar. And the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah sulfur and fire from the Lord from out of heaven. And he eradicated these cities, and all the place round about, and all the ones dwelling in the cities, and the things rising from out of the ground. And his wife looked unto the rear, and she became a monument of salt. And Abraham rose early in the morning to the place of which he had stood before the Lord. And he looked upon the face of Sodom and Gomorrah, and upon the face of the place round about. And he saw, and behold, a flame ascended from out of the earth, as vapor of a furnace. And it came to pass, in God obliterating all the adjacent cities, God remembered Abraham, and sent out Lot from the middle of the final event, in the eradicating the cities in which Lot dwelt in them. And Lot came forth from out of Zoar, and settled in the mountain, and the 2 daughters of his with him. For he feared dwelling in Zoar, and he dwelt in the cave, he and the 2 daughters of his with him. And the elder said to the younger, Our father is older, and there was no one upon the land who will enter to us as it is fit in all the earth. Come, and we should give to our father wine to drink, and we should go to bed with him, that we might raise up seed from our father. And they gave their father wine to drink in that night. And entering, the elder went to bed with her father in that night. And he knew not about her going to bed and rising up. And it came to pass in the next day, and the elder said to the younger, Behold, I went to bed yesterday with our father. We should give him wine to drink also in this night, and entering you go to bed with him, that we might raise up seed from our father. And they gave to drink also in that night wine for their father. And entering, the younger went to bed with her father, and he knew not about her going to bed and rising up. And the 2 daughters of Lot conceived from their father. And the elder bore a son, and she called his name Moab, saying, He is from my father. This one is father of the Moabites unto today's day. And the younger also bore a son, and she called his name Ammon, saying, He is a son of my family. This one is father of the Ammonites until today's day.